For this example, we're going to investigate the influence of age, illness, and anxiety on patient satisfaction. I'm taking this example from the Regression chapter in the Shumacker and Lomax book, Structural Equation Modeling for Beginners. But before we do this, we have to look at entering syntax in the simplest form into Lisserl. And so what I did was I went to the chapter, and the covariance matrix of these variables is located in that chapter, and so we're going to enter that covariance matrix into the simplest syntax in order to run this analysis. Now, previous to this time, we've ran analysis with Lisserl, and we've had raw data. So we've had data imported from SPSS. This time, we don't have that raw data, but we do have the covariance matrix from Chapter 6. So we're going to go ahead and enter that in this form into Lisserl. So I'm going to open Lisserl, and I've done this already, so you'll see what it looks like. And I'm going to go File, Open, and go to Simplest Project. And then I named the simplest project SAT for satisfaction. And so I'm going to open that file. And so you see this is what I've created. And I really just copied this example out of the book. And instead of using X's as they did for their variables, I actually named them. And so you notice that I have the title in the first line, I have observed variables, and then I have age, ill, angst, and satisfaction for age, illness, anxiety, and satisfaction. And then I have the covariance matrix. Now, one thing that's very important when working with Lisserl is that, and I'm going to open this file back up again, is that these variables are in order. So you want age, illness, and anxiety and satisfaction to be in the same order they're found in this covariance matrix. Otherwise, you're going to get estimates that are not going to be accurate. And so going back to the simplest file, so I've entered the covariance matrix. The next line I put sample size. Then the relationships will be age, illness, anxiety is going to all have paths to satisfaction. And then I have path diagram and then end of problem. So this is a simple way to specify a regression analysis in Lisserl if you have the covariance matrix. And then I'm going to click here, and I'm going to run the analysis. And now you can see that I have the path coefficients or the beta coefficients, and then I have the covariances. And here's my output, and I can see it has my syntax, my simplest syntax that I ran, the covariance matrix, and then I have my structural equation. And so what I'd like you to do is look at this and then compare your results with what you see in the Shumacker and Lomax book, particularly looking at the path coefficients or the beta coefficients and the R-square. Then again, we have the covariance matrix and some other statistics that we'll talk about later.